Adi.
Hi, Ola. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing well too. Thank you for asking.
I haven't had the opportunity to say congratulations one on one. So, this is a huge opportunity. Congratulations on your leadership award
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
2024, 2023, 2024 District 42 President of the Year. That was your award.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
So, a couple of
Unexpected.
questions, right? A couple of questions for you.
Okay.
What inspired you to take on the role of president? And what were your
Right.
goals for the club in addition to the distinguished club program goals?
Right. Right. My journey of Toastmasters begins by my supervisor at Fluor telling me that, oh, back in the day we used to have Toastmasters here at Fluor. Let me go take a look. Let me ask around. I remember some contacts from there. Let me ask around and come back to you if we still have Toastmasters. So that's where Fluor Communicators was within Fluor.
Oh,
And then eventually he connected me with Richard Burwell, our very own
oh,
Richard Burwell,
Richard.
who yes, yeah, yeah, and he introduced me to Toastmasters. I realized what a wonderful family community we had within Fluor that supported us not just in our personal development, but also our professional development. Identifying that and realizing how much I connected with that community, resonated with the purpose of that community, it brought me back again and again and again. And there were such wonderful people I met. Back then, it was Arobo who was the president. Just seeing her leadership, how she led the club, how it all distilled down to simply having fun. So when she approached me, I had big shoes to fill in, but I knew I had one goal in mind, and that was to make make rest of the floor realize what wonderful work not just floor employees but those outside of floor are doing for floor without any compensation, without any thought of compensation. Typically people always, people always focus on the fruit that's going to bear from the tree, but never really focus on, growing that tree. But here we were simply focused on staying together, supporting each other, and supporting each other in our personal growth and professional growth. So that was my motto throughout my president's club president tenure, was to make everyone within Floor realize and identify the important work, the good work we were all doing.
Right. And how has being a Toastmaster and serving as president impacted your personal and professional growth?
This ties in perfectly. In terms of personal growth, I recognize that I take more intentional pauses. And to be honest, this applies to both personal and professional growth. Communication is key. Wherever we go nowadays, it's always a teamwork setting. Maybe it's at work, you're always working in a team. Maybe you go somewhere because you need to, right now it's winter time here in Calgary, and we all need to get our tires changed. Wherever we go, whatever shop we go to, there as well, there's a team working on that car to get the tire swapped. Everywhere we go, it's a team effort, and everywhere we go, communication is key. So I've recognized that now whenever I have any conversation, there's meaning behind it. I don't ramble on. I take intentional pauses. I'm clear at communicating. That's the biggest impact I think Toastmasters has had on my personal and professional growth. And simply because of my better communication skills, I've received a lot more recognition. People take me more seriously. Whenever I speak with intent. But most importantly, I listen a lot more than I used to before. That's another thing Toastmasters focuses on, and I've learned.
Amazing. It leads me to my next question, Adi. How did you foster an engaging environment for both new and experienced members in Fluor Communicators Toastmasters Club?
Right. My president's tenure started pretty quickly. I believe less than a year into my whole Toastmasters journey, Robo, Marcy, they all approached me. and they sat me down and they told me that we're considering you to take on the club leadership, to become the club president, to lead the club to the next year, hopefully to the 10th DCP, President's Distinguished status. And I was jarred, but at the same time, they assured me that I had proper support and guidance from them. I will always have them by my side. So when I took on this role, I knew it was very recent experience for me to, you know, start as a new member in the club.
Mm-hmm.
I knew exactly the possible pitfalls we had, because there's always room for improvement, right?
Right.
And that's where we had established the mentorship coordinator as Mr. Richard Burwell again. It
Yeah.
comes back in my stories. That was one of the things we recognized, that maybe having someone at the club who is your connection, with whom you're very comfortable, if they attend and if they encourage you to attend, there's a higher chance you will attend. And if you
Mm.
attend more and more and more, you're going to identify, realize, and notice positive, improvements in yourself. As you mentioned, not just in personal, but professional growth. So that was one of the key components we focused on in helping out the new members. The experienced members got a wonderful experience officially mentoring the new
The new
the new
members.
members. Yes, exactly. So, and there was always plenty of projects that we were doing um, at our club, organizing the year-end event, maybe a social event, how to write a winning speech that we recently had. So there's wonderful opportunities that we're taking within our club that is perfectly suited to for an experienced member to engage in and execute.
Right. Thanks. I'm glad you mentioned projects. My very next question is, can you describe a specific project or event during your presidency that you are particularly proud of? And share a challenging moment you faced as president and how you overcame
During your presidency.
it. So,
My
two
most
sides to it.
right.
You're proud
These
of
questions are flowing in
the
very
challenge.
well. uh, my most memorable one is my end of the year event that I organized 4 or 5 months into my Toastmasters journey. Then this was in 2023. But if you were to particularly hone in during my presidency, it would be, off the top of my head, the only thing that comes to mind, and I'm really sorry if there's something else that was more impactful, but off the top of my head that comes to my mind is the very first event that we had, which was the kickoff event.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the person who was supposed to be in charge, due to personal or professional reasons, had to back off a little bit and could not take the charge as much as they were expected to or they hoped to. So we all had to step in as a group and organize the end of the year event. There were some, because it was so last minute, there were some decisions that were made where weren't particularly the brightest. Looking
Mhm.
back in hindsight, but hindsight is 2020, right?
Right.
Lessons learned. But it's the most memorable event during my presidency, and one that I'm most proud of, simply because it embodies what our club is all about, which is
Mm.
supporting each other
Each other.
and having
Yeah.
a clear channel of communication. When you can't meet your expectations, just communicate that, and it's all right. Life happens, work
Of
happens,
course.
we
Of
understand,
course.
but we all came together, we all took on the roles, we all took the initiative to make sure that we delivered a kick-ass kickoff event, not just for our members, for also our guests, and to show Fluor what we were all about. We weren't just simple club where we all just met up to chat, to chit chat, and that was it. No, we were here to make a difference, and we made difference.
Great. That's what you're proud of. Challenging moment. Share with us.
Yes.
Was there a
Challenging
particular?
moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you face that spell. How you will? Honestly, this was also a challenging event. I if I come up with something else, I'll let you know later.
Well, towards the end, so keep thinking. I'll come back to this.
Right. Okay. Okay. We'll come back to this. How about that?
Right. I'm wondering, what advice would you give to aspiring club presidents or leaders in any organization? We have members,
Right.
Toastmasters worldwide, who would want to be leaders or even presidents. What advice would you give to them?
My one and only advice, it's going to be very simple. You learn most in moments of enjoyment.
Hmm.
You don't learn much in when you're stressed out. When you have a deadline to meet and you have a lot of stress on you, it's not going to happen. So we need to foster an enjoyable environment, an enjoyable club environment. If I'm having fun, I'm more inclined to take that first step to doing my very first table topics, to take that first step to doing my icebreaker, to take that first step to becoming the Toastmaster of a meeting, maybe eventually all the way up to the club president, right? So we need to engage our new members by fostering a fun environment. We learn most in moments of enjoyment. That's all I'll say.
Thank you. And that's Dr. Ralph Smedley.
Yes.
How has winning this award impacted your personal and professional growth?
This one's easy to answer. I was wondering about it myself. Honestly, getting that award, as unexpected as it was reinforcing and encouraging because someone came to me. This is how I imagined. Someone came to me, sat me down, and told me that that 1 year where I was the club president, the time before and also the time after, was well spent. I acknowledge the effort you put in, and what you did was actually meaningful. It
Hmm.
wasn't just flapping around in the water trying to survive. You actually swam from coast from one side to the other side of the river. You made the journey. It was successful. People who came with you, we all grew together. It was very encouraging.
Sounds good. I'll go back to the question I promised I was going to come to. Let's just think about it. I mean,
Right,
like you said, there have been challenging moments. We had challenging moments last season, last year.
right.
How
Anything
did
that
you
comes to your
overcome
mind?
any of them? How
The
did we keep
role.
new members, for instance?
Right,
How did we
right.
sustain? Yeah, perhaps.
When whenever I explain my role as a club president to anyone, I say that I was lucky to have a very strong group of executives, to have experienced members in our club. Now as an area director, I see the situation of other clubs, even around Calgary. Some of them even corporate clubs. They're not thriving as much as we are.
Mm,
It's simply because the members I had in my executive committee, they were all very driven. I didn't have to run behind them to ask them to do something. They were self-motivated. They knew that the work they were doing was important, was supportive, and was encouraging new members to remain at the club. We were, for example, some clubs, right as the 1 o'clock mark hit, they dismiss, they disperse, they're done. We stick around, we talk, we specifically approach new members, guests, ask them how they enjoyed it, how what was their feedback. And this we do ask for feedback during meetings, but that personal touch of actually approaching them and having that one-on-one conversation, sharing our journey throughout throughout the years being in Toastmasters, how it has impacted us. So that is the beauty of our club, which is why I'm having such a hard time coming up with challenges. So I would say I didn't have one particular challenge. As I was saying, I summarize my club presidency tenure. Why not facing one major challenge? There were minor challenges here and there that we faced, but we came together as a team. We were supportive. We worked together. We strived together, and we thrived together.
Right. One more question for you. Is there anything you'd like to share? Anything, inspiration, motivation, anything to
Right,
anybody listening to you right now who would listen to you eventually? A take
right.
back around your journey to keep them going. Toastmasters, non-Toastmasters alike.
No, I have one thing in my mind, and this is Toastmasters or beyond. It applies to both. When I was in university, I was only taking courses, university courses. I was so engrossed in them. I thought I could never take on anything else. I saw my peers who were in student clubs, and I always wondered how did they manage studying and managing a club? Some of them in club leadership positions. Again, wondering how did they manage their studies, their club work, and leadership commitments. Then I joined Toastmasters, and I slowly and slowly realized how much untapped potential there was in me. I'm not saying I have fully saturated my potential. There's long way to go.
Mhm.
But one thing I would like everyone to take away from this is that you have no idea what your capacity is. If you think this is a boundary, trust me, it's 10 times more. So keep pushing your boundary, keep striving, keep working towards your personal and professional development because you don't realize how strong, how smart, how creative you are. There's a lot in you. And Toastmasters is one place where you'll get to tap into all of those buckets and realize how much more capacity you have. That's one thing I took away from Toastmasters and I give and I share with everyone for Toastmasters and beyond.
Thank you so much, Adi. I have enjoyed having this conversation with you. I mean,
Thank you.
interview, but I mean, it's a conversation from Adi himself. Congratulations once again. I'm
Thank you
looking
all.
forward to what comes out with you being the area director 2024, 2025. We'll see how that
Yeah,
goes. But just
yeah,
keep
me too.
being Adi. We miss you as the president. I love my new president, but I enjoyed working with you. And
Thank you. Thank
see
you,
how it
Ola.
goes. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Adi.
Ola.
We'll keep in touch. Thank you. Bye now.
Okay. Bye, Ola.